What is up? Marty in the building already. What up, Marty? What is good? A little late tonight. I was kind of feeling like shit, but decided I'll just hop on at least. Hop on for a little bit, answer any questions everybody's got. Start sits. We got Achane coming back this week. We've got Flacco starting this week. I mean, a lot is a lot. I can't believe Flacco is really starting. So we'll see what that entails. We'll go over some stuff. Let's see what else has happened. We'll go over some of the games here and stuff too, but Flacco at 38. But yeah, Achan is back. So what does this entail now? I mean, he had 11 touches that game that he got injured and then came back and then first game back gets injured again. So they take him out, misses a week, and now he comes back again. So what is the work that Achan's going to get? How safe are they going to try and keep him? How many touches is he going to get? So we shall see. We shall see what happens there. But I mean, we can talk about the game from last night as well, which went crazy. If you had CeeDee Lamb, if you had DK Metcalf, Brandon Cooks, Geno Smith, 3 tutties, by far his best game. They actually looked good. I mean, JSN looked good. DK looked good. Lockett Lockett didn't really look that good. I think he had a drop too. Hmm. If I remember. Let's pull up the box score here. Charbonnet 19 attempts, so he did get a lot of work. And that was the one part that you're worried about with Sharbs for this particular game is like, what if Dallas is just beating on them and they've got a pass all game, and then Sharp's just not getting the work on the ground? But he got the work on the ground, 19 carries. I mean, only 3.2 a carry, so wasn't very good, but did wind up in the end zone. And then he was involved in the pass game as well. I mean, he had that one big catch for 39 yards, only 2 targets, so nothing crazy, but he had that one big catch. 39 yards on that catch. So he wound up actually playing really well. DK actually should have had about 200 yards in this game and 4 touchdowns because he dropped that one pass. After he had the first one, there was another one that he wound up dropping on the same kind of play, a little slant where he had a ton of space. So imagine he could have had 4 tutties. But I mean, I think the real interesting part was JSN. Like, let's talk about JSN for a second here. 11 targets. So wind up leading the team in targets was JSN. Had the touchdown, had the tutty taken away because they said that he didn't have full control. It looked like he did, but I mean, the ball touching the ground gets a little murky. They wind up not counting it as a touchdown. Still finished 7 for 62, so should have had really 8. But it is what it is. Tyler Lockett, I mean, 5 for 47, tied with DK in targets. I mean, what's gonna happen now after this season? What are we doing? Like, what are they gonna do with Tyler Lockett? What are they gonna do with him? They can get off of Tyler Lockett next year with nothing, no hurt against the cap because he's got another year left, but they can get out with nothing against the cap. So, do they wind up moving off of Tyler Lockett and just rolling with DK and JSN next season? Because that's what could be happening now with Lockett. I mean, he's not looking that good this year. JSN is now commanding targets, and it's starting to happen. And we have said all season and before the season, it's going to take time, but towards the end of the season and into next year, you're going to see JSN start standing out a little bit, start commanding more targets. Now He's very much in the short area of the field, right? He's working very close to the line of scrimmage, but getting those get I mean, 11 targets, can't complain. Can't complain. But finally coming to form, I think people are finally starting to see, what JSN can do because a lot of people were, already trying to say that he wasn't good enough, that if he was, he'd be outproducing these guys. But I mean, you got to remember DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, these are Pro Bowl caliber players. These are not just two veterans. These are two highly touted wide receivers and Lockett and DK who's finished in the top 15 the past how many years. So Noah Fant 3 for 43 on 4 targets. And then of course Jake Bobo with the 1 target there. But I mean, then you look at the Dallas side, right? Dak going crazy. 1 yard short of 300 yards, but 29 of 41, 3 tutties, no intos. So I think that was big. No intos. Pollard 20 for 68. He's kind of been like that all season. I mean, 3.4 a carry. So he's not really holding his weight on what he should be doing on the ground. I mean, everybody's been disappointed in what Tony Pollard should be giving you, especially where people drafted him, where people had him ranked, before the season as like a top 5 guy. Did score the tutty, so he's kind of came along the past 2 weeks. He was a good, it was a good buy low. People were off him. But, wind up scoring the tutty, and then through the air, he also had 3 catches, 3 for 15 on 4 targets, so not too bad. CeeDee Lamb, talk about CeeDee. He did have 2 carries for 30 yards. He had that long one, that 124-yard one. That was nice where he kinda took that little end around. Rico Dowdle 5 for 15. But yeah, CD 12 for 116 on 17 targets. I mean, that's just dominating the targets. 17. Next closest was Ferguson with 8. 6 for 77 on a touchdown for Ferguson, but 12 for 116 and a tutty for CD Lamb. I mean, they've kind of lately, especially, kind of unlocked this offense. I think they were trying to do it earlier in the season, rushing the football with Tony Pollard. That wasn't happening. Now they've kind of unlocked something here with CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, and Brandon Cooks. I mean, Cooks only 4 targets, but 4 for 45, had the tutty. So it seems like they've kind of got this little recipe now where, that's really working for them right now. And it's basically use CeeDee Lamb as the X receiver and just throw this man the ball. And he's been absolutely killing it. Diaz, what up, Diaz? What's goody, man? But yeah, just talking a little bit about the game from last night. I mean, a little bit CeeDee Lamb. I talked JSN a little bit. I mean, led the team in targets, which was good to see. Had the tutty taken away, which sucked. But it looks like he's kind of starting to get in a groove, and Gino just looked way better than he has all season. I mean, where has this Gino been? He was 23 of 41, so there still was a lot of throws that he missed for sure, but DK should have had the 4 tutties, man. DK could have had 4 tutties, could have had 200, had that drop, but CeeDee Lamb really kinda cementing himself basically as that dynasty wide receiver 3. I mean, JJ, Chase, and then, like, CeeDee. Yes, yes, iDub. What up, iDub? JSN got robbed on the TD, but, I mean, you love to see, like, what he's been doing. Like, you love to see what he's been doing. You love to see the target share, and Tyler Lockett just hasn't really been that good, so, let me know what you guys think of next year. Like, Tyler Lockett, they could get off of Tyler Lockett without, any hit against the cap next year. So I think Lockett's gone, and it'll be JSN and DK. And don't forget, DK kinda signed a short contract too. He only signed a 3-year contract. So, he'll be a free agent again, soon enough? 2 more years? But yeah, that tutty should have stood for sure. Only person who didn't go off was Lockett, needed him in several key playoff races. Yeah, I have Lockett in only one league. I mean, because I like to get off early, right? And sometimes, of course, you need some of these veteran guys, but Lockett was for some reason scared me a little bit this year, so I only have one share of Tyler Lockett because I felt so strongly about JSN that I was just like, all right, if I feel this strong about JSN, then I probably shouldn't make the bet on Lockett. So I wind up not taking Lockett in a lot of areas. Hey, Jeezy, what up, man? What D would you roll with Cleveland versus Chicago, Dallas at Buffalo, or Baltimore at the Jags in the first round of the playoffs? Um, I mean, that's probably Cleveland. I mean, they still have like one of the best Ds. I mean, you got Dallas at Buffalo. I mean, yeah, you got Dallas. I mean, Dallas has been awesome. It's hard to not play them, but you are going against obviously a good team in Josh Allen. I mean, make the argument for Cleveland that they'll be pretty safe. I mean, against Chicago. At Buffalo, the Dallas D, I mean, Josh Allen is one to turn the ball over a little bit. So, could that be in favor of Dallas? Baltimore's been a pretty solid D all season too, so you could roll with them. I mean, it's tough. It's hard to choose between some defenses, especially when, there's reasons that you can go with kind of any of them. But I mean, I probably feel most like I feel like Cleveland, like Baltimore and Jags game is probably going to be relatively low scoring, and Cleveland Chicago, I would guess, is probably going to be relatively low scoring. Buffalo, I mean, what did I say? Yeah, okay. Dallas at Buffalo, I think that could be a high scoring game. So they could be going back and forth in that game. I don't think that's happening with Cleveland, Chicago, or Baltimore Jags. So I probably roll with Cleveland. Atlanta has the Panthers week 15. Okay. Okay. It went Lockett because he was cheap and the playoff schedule is tits. Yeah, I mean, he's not giving us what we want here. ATL got swooped, could go Houston and Tennessee. Okay. Yeah, I think I like the Cleveland for some reason. With Garrett and Newsom hurt. They could. You want the pick 6 for the D. Yeah, I mean, in that case, you're going with Dallas, right? I mean, Dallas has got you there. Like, I'm one to like, not play I don't like to play it cute. Like, if there's something that's just been good all season like Dallas D has, like, fuck it. I'm gonna keep playing them. It's when you start getting cute that shit starts to get fucked up? So, it's tough because you wanna go, matchup based as well, but oh, my fault. Marcos, what's up, Marcos? Big time understanding. Half PPR. Ayuk, Dell, Jameer Gibbs, Mostert, and Chase. One wide receiver, one flex. Oh boy. All right, so we need one wide receiver and one flex here. All right. Let me check out who's playing who real quick. Uh, um, we've got Ayuk and Dell. So Ayuk's against the Eagles. And Dell's against the Broncos. Okay. Jameer Gibbs against the Saints. Mostert, and then Chase as well. So I think I like Mostert against the Commanders. I like, yeah, man, it's hard not to play Gibbs. I mean, it's half PPR. Okay. So I mean, Gibbs against the Saints. It's hard to not play Gibbs either, but shit. Give me Mostert against those Commanders. And give me as a wide receiver. Dell against the Broncos. Broncos D's been pretty good lately. Chase. Can we not go with Chase? I mean, shit, I guess the Jags. Honestly, it might be Dell, or it could be Ayuk against the Eagles. That could be. Give me Dell. Fuck it. Let's go with the hot hand. Let's go with the hot hand, Marcos. What do you guys think here? What are we going with? Pick one wide receiver, one flex. I think I'm gonna roll with Mostert and Dell. Gibbs is close. If it was full PPR, I'd probably go Gibbs. Henry, Eckler, and Aaron Jones are now cliff divers. Yep, I hate Aaron Jones. I've got none of Aaron Jones, but yeah, gotta go snuggle with my girl. Have a good night, brother. We'll listen more tomorrow. Yeah, appreciate you, DS. Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow at 10. Hammer should be on with me tomorrow, so appreciate you stopping in, DS. Oh, Marcos, you were saying you were the big time underdog. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. I mean, if you want to go with like the highest upside, I guess Dellen Gibbs would give you the highest upside. But Mostert, I mean, you do got Achane coming back, so you can make that argument. So if you're an underdog, you want to go for, you want to go for the big one, then go with Gibbs and Dell. I'll let you decide between Gibbs and Mostert, though. I think if Flacco can do something with the offense, then the defense will start rolling again, and Garrett and Ward should be back by week 15. Yeah, that's true. That's true because we're talking about the first week of the playoffs. So yeah, for sure. I mean, can you hold all those defenses though? I mean, like, what are you gonna do there? Obviously, you can't hold all of them. I mean, are you just deciding like you're gonna pick one up now? This way, you can hold them until then. Frank, what up, Frank? What's cracking, Frank? Someone dropped Addison. Wow. Do you think he'd be good for bench piece? My only wide receivers are Amon-Ra, Devonta Smith, and Flowers. Yeah, for sure. I'd pick him up just to hold him on the bench. If you don't have to play him, then that's fine. But if you get an injury or something, you need someone that at least is in a good, Addison's in a good offense. Obviously, JJ's coming back, so it's going to be tough. The offense sucked last week, but he's still a good player. All it takes is one play. So, pretty good offense. I'll roll with that. But I mean, if Addison is on waivers, I mean, who else? I'm curious to know who else is on waivers if someone dropped Addison. You know, Birdman. What up, Birdman? Appreciate you, Birdman. A Jeezy deciding got to drop Baltimore D this week. Okay, yeah, deciding. Okay, yeah, yep. It's tough. It's tough. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Throw your questions in the chat. We'll get them answered here for sure. Smash that like for me if you haven't already. If you're new, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Throw your questions in the chat. Guys, I've got our Instagram and our Facebook down on the bottom there. Dynasty Life Fantasy on Instagram, and for Facebook, Dynasty Life Fantasy Football. If you'd like any roster reviews for your Dynasty team, okay, we do roster reviews. We'll be starting those. We're starting up those again probably right after the season. But Dynasty Life, the number 4 ever at gmail.com. Just hit us up in the email and we'll tell you what we need. You'll send us your team. I will send you a questionnaire basically that will ask you about your league, ask you about your plan, and about your team, and then we'll do a live roster review for you, or we can do it separate. I can invite you on, and we'll do it separate, not live, where we can kind of interact though live. So that'll be fun. But yeah, throw any of your rosters onto that email, and I'll send you the questionnaire. Birdman said, passing through to show some love. Be back on tomorrow. Appreciate you, Birdman. You the man. You the man. Appreciate it. Tingley, what up, Tingley? Shout out to y'all, man. Benching Puka for Pacheco was the play. Yes, it was. Playing Fields, I know, my bad, bro. Playing Fields wasn't though. Bro, why do you have to be so bad? Like, he wasn't supposed to be that bad. He was supposed to give a nice solid floor, and he was just bummy. He was just bummy. Moss, Pacheco, Achane, or Puka. Shit. It's not Puka. So we're gonna eliminate Puka right now as long as Cup is healthy, which I think he is. I know he's a little bit banged up, but let's see who these guys are playing real quick. I mean, Moss is a he went off on the Titans, I think, last time he played him. Let me pull up Moss real quick. Yeah, he had 23 for 165 and 2 tutties. 2 catches for 30 yards as well last time he played Tennessee. So, I mean, Zach Moss looks like a good play, but Pacheco's been awesome. They've got the Packers. Man, for it to not play Pacheco, RB, what, 13 right now? I mean, you see, he doesn't give you like a ton on the ground. I mean, he's had only 100-yard game all season, but the chances of him scoring tutties, and he's been involved in like the pass game very weirdly, but 5 catches last game for 34 yards. So, or is it Achane, the guy that can give you the winning week? And I said they're going against the Commanders, which is a pretty good matchup. Damn, this is a tough one, guys. Do we have to make it Achane because of what he's done in the past, or can we have a little bit of caution with it? Echo's pretty safe, I would say. And Moss, who is now the guy because JT's hurt and went off against Tennessee the last time he played him. I think I'm gonna eliminate Pacheco as well. So no Puka, no Pacheco. I think for me, it's either gonna be between Moss or Achane. Achane obviously has that crazy ceiling. Moss is probably a lot safer and still could give you a killer game also. So we've got to choose between those two. Now, are you a little bit afraid that Achane takes another shot in the knee on the first play and gets taken out again? Because now you got to decide, especially as an Achane owner, right? When you play him now, is he going to give you that dud week like he did last time from getting hurt? Or is he going to give you that winning, 40, 50-point week? So, I mean, it's just such a good matchup against Washington. Does it have to be? What do you guys think? Let's let the chat guys help us out here. What are we going with? Moss, Pacheco, Achan, and Puka. Let me know. Do y'all agree that Pacheco and Puka might be out of this conversation, and it might just be between Moss and Achan? Who do you guys like out of those two? I can at least eliminate it to those two, at least for me. And what you don't want to do is not play Achan and miss the 50-point week, but you don't want to play him and then he gets injured, or play him and they're very precautious with him and don't give him a lot of work. Or do you just go with Moss, who's going to be the absolute probably workhorse against a Titans team that's not very good, doesn't put up a ton of points? Like, what are you guys thinking out there? Let's help me out with Tingley, because this is a tough one. It's hard to choose one here. Like, I might have to just say it's Moss because he can get, like, he had 25 carries and some catches. and I can feel pretty safe about that. So if Achane goes off, like I don't know how far off Moss would be, even if Achane does have a big play or two. You know what I mean? So give me Moss as the workhorse dude. Give me Moss. Let me see if anybody else said anything here. Marty said Pacheco over Achane. I could see that. I could see that. That's a tough Moss, AGZ said Moss, Birdman said Moss. Exactly, exactly. Volume. That's exactly what I'm saying. For sure. For sure. All right. So let's go with Moss, Tingley. Let's go with Moss this week. Let's see how that turns out. Frank says we got 5 bench spots, but yeah, I was surprised Addison got dropped too. You only have 5 bench spots, so that's pretty shallow. That is a pretty shallow bench, I think. Is it typically 6 or 7? I think 5 is kind of shallow. He's on a bye. Pickens, JSN, and Hyatt. Those are the other guys that's on the waivers. You're saying? I mean, I'd pick up JSN. I mean, again, you only got 5 bench spots, so I'm not sure who's on your bench, but you might not be able to pick up a JSN. Okay, those are on waivers, yeah. Washington, Oregon game popping off. As a Vikes fan, are you interested in Penix or Bo Nix? I'm interested in any quarterback that can throw the football right now. We've got receivers, we've got a tight end. Like we have what we need offensively. We just need a quarterback to throw the ball. So I'm okay with either of those guys. I'm not gonna sit here and say I like one better over the other. I think they're kind of in the same boat for me. It's very hard to evaluate quarterbacks. NFL can't even get it right, so hard for me to get it right. But I'm okay with taking a chance on either one of them if they're available. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm okay with either of them if we're not keeping Kirk or re-signing Kirk, then for sure. Give me one of those guys over. I mean, who else could be even out there? I mean, a Tannenhill, no, I don't really want Tannenhill. I mean, I think that, and I don't know, call me crazy, but do you think like Stafford would be fucking sick for the Vikings? Like that Rams team eventually, I mean, they got to start rebuilding. I don't think they're winning current how they're currently constructed, and Cup is getting old, right? I mean, Baker Mayfield, like, no, I don't want Baker. That's not good enough. We got way too many weapons to be just getting a Baker. Russell, I mean, he's still on a contract, so I don't think they're making a trade. And plus, he's played a lot better this year, so I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, Kyler Murray, did the Cardinals trade? I mean, there's not like a ton of options out there. I mean, so Bryce, what's up, Bryce? Lost Hawkinson and Schultz. So we rocking with Pitts, Logan Thomas, or Cade Otton. I think Cade's been pretty decent. I've liked Cade. He was one of my stashes in Dynasty. I mean, 4 catches, 4 catches. Pretty safe. Logan Thomas, I mean, what did he do? I mean, 2 catches for 15 yards. I mean, Logan Thomas. I mean, I find it crazy how Sam Howell is just slinging the ball everywhere and, has is at the top of the league in passing yards, but Terry McLaurin is a bum, Dotson's a bum, Logan Thomas is a bum. Like, I don't get it. Like, how is Sam Howell like leading the NFL in passing yards, and Terry McLaurin is like not even a wide receiver one. Like, what is Terry McLaurin right now? Like, he's not even a wide receiver one. Like, who the fuck would have thought that wide receiver 24? Are you kidding me? Wide receiver 24? And then let's go look at Dotson, receiver 45. I mean, Where's the ball going? Honestly, like, seriously, where the fuck is the ball going? I mean, Curtis Samuel, wide receiver 44? Like, what? You would think you want guys on high-powered offense, right? Texans, give me some Tank Dell, give me some Nico, give me some Schultz, like, it's a high-powered passing offense, right? Um, and you look at Washington, and they're up there in passing yards, but, I mean, who do you want on the Washington team other than, Brian Robinson? Is that not is that not nuts? And Pacheco down that bad. I'm sending out trades now. Yeah, I think that just a running back is a running back. I mean, in redraft, obviously a lot different than dynasty, but just the value of Pacheco, people perceive that value like not he's just a running back. So a lot of people just don't care anymore. Depending how deep your starters are. Cameron, what's up, Cameron? I have the same issue. Moss, Ramondre, Achane. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Moss. We're gonna roll with Moss, guys, over Achane. And I don't know. Call me crazy, but I'm not shying away from almost 30 touches for the 10, 11 that Achane is gonna give you, hopefully. And even if he scores like two tutties, the pure volume that Moss is most likely gonna get is going to be close enough to Achane, and he's safer. So I think that's kinda how I feel about it. More solo, no Taylor. Exactly, Birdman, exactly. That's why we rolling with it, man. That's why we rolling with it. Tingley said, "Tough one for sure, appreciate it." Yeah, I mean, that's just how I'm thinking of it, so if that makes sense to you, then, roll with that, but that's kinda my reasoning behind it. Gotta ask Hammer too. Yeah, he'll be on tomorrow night. He'll be on tomorrow night most likely, so we'll be on tomorrow at 10. I know it's a little late tonight, but I wasn't feeling good and just decided I'll at least hop on for a little bit, make sure I get to answer everybody's questions. Pure passer, exactly. Too late for Stafford? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, for this season, yeah, for sure. For this season, obviously, but I'm saying for next season, like, possibility. I'd rather have Kirk too, but if I had to guess, I'd say they probably try to keep Kirk Cousins at least one more year. I mean, they probably could pay a lot cheaper next season just because of the injury. So I think that it is definitely a possibility that he stays in Minnesota. Um, if he doesn't, does he even go somewhere else, or does he just like retire? Is he just like done with it? These are all like good. Because he's one of those like family-ish dudes now. Like, does he really wanna move to a whole somewhere else just to play, like, 1 season or 2 seasons? I mean, I would like him still on the Vikings, but we'll see what happens. I hope they do keep him. Yeah, Marty, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I hope they do keep him. I mean, because there's nothing better out there. Like, that was always my thing with Kirk. Like, a lot of people hate Kirk, but for me as a Vikings fan, I mean, there's nobody out there that's better that we can go and get, than what Kirk Cousins. And this season, he was on pace to kill. I mean, he was really a beast this season. Is one of his, like, best seasons, so it sucks that he got hurt. They need O-line right. Yeah, man. It's tough, man. It's tough. Howell. Yeah, Howell was good, but for some reason, like, nobody wanted him. And he's okay, like, he's not bad. Like, I don't know if he's the future. Like, obviously, I think that probably at least you hope that next season they keep him, they give him another season at least before they try and draft someone else. But, I mean, the sacks are too much. Like, I know he's passing the ball out of this world, but again, they've been down a lot. Like, he's been horrible the first half of games, and then they're down from behind, so they've gotta pass the ball. Like, there's a lot of garbage time stats in there. Not saying that Howell isn't good, like, he's actually been pretty decent, but I don't know if it's gonna be good enough. I mean, when you're getting sacked and you're losing yardage, you're getting out of field goal range, and you're turning the ball over, I mean, and you're not winning, at some point you gotta win, which is kinda, the thing with Justin Fields, right? I mean, he could run all over and he has some of these great games, but if you're not winning for your football team and you're churning the ball over, at some point they're just gonna go to somebody else. So yeah, Marty, that is wild, right? Bro, he did get we did get scammed. We did for sure. Or whoever has any Terry. I mean, I don't have any shares of Terry, or Dotson for that matter, but Sam Howell is fucking us all. Bro, I don't know why, like, I literally just realized that now as I was looking at Terry's numbers and I'm like, "Bro, something ain't right here." When we got that the Logan Thomas question, I was like, "Wait a second. Something's not adding up." Like the math ain't mathing for these wide receivers, which is just it's crazy. Had him for a week and dropped him. Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to give us that wide receiver 1 numbers, right? Once they got a QB, and if Howell was a QB, then, why isn't he doing it? And Howell is at the top of the league in passing, and somehow none of their receivers are, like, putting up great numbers. B-Rob, Kincaid on bye, Mitchell, Flowers, and Murray on bench. I would drop Murray for Addison, and yeah, Moss over Achane. Okay, perfect. So you're with that too, Moss over Achane. All right, drop Murray. Who's Murray? Kyler Murray or like Latavius Murray? I mean, yeah, that's fine. I'd do that. I'm good with that, Frank. It would be interesting to see Kirk elsewhere. Like, I mean, shit. I know, like the perfect spot, like we'd all kind of love, like as dynasty owners, would be for him to go to Atlanta, and that offense somehow change into like a passing offense for with Kirk and London and Pitts. Like that would be like the ideal spot. I mean, what other places could he really go? Tampa, I guess, could be a possibility. The Seahawks could be a possibility, right? I mean, there's teams out there that will take him. I mean, the Titans, but they're not really I don't know if they're necessarily in position. Like, he'd probably wanna go to a better team like the Seahawks, or the Falcons, where they're kinda like a QB away. Saints, not really. Jets are, because they got still Aaron Rodgers, so that don't matter. Yeah, I don't really see any other squads. I think those would be kind of the best bets. He was slinging it this year. I've seen him as a Vikings. It was fun. I don't know how they started 0-3. Yeah, that was kind of messed up how we started 0-3. We definitely shouldn't have, but that's what happens when you're playing these close games every time. I mean, what was it last year? I think it was 10 games. There was, decided by what is it, one possession or 3 points or whatever it was. And now this year we're losing all those games where we won all of them last year. I mean, it's like, a 20 touchdown season. It's just not gonna happen every season, unless you're Austin Eckler, but, it's just very volatile, so we're not gonna win all those games every season, and this season, it just hasn't been working out, at least how it did last season, so too many yards for them all to be at that ass. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I honestly, I wanna look up the whole fucking offense here and start counting it up, all these damn yards, because, I mean, who else is he throwing it to? Ray, what's up, Ray? Amari Cooper or Deontay Johnson? Alright, so this is interesting. Deontay's I mean, he's got, like, a bad attitude right now. They're kinda in the doghouse, but they are playing Arizona, so it's a good matchup. Obviously, no Matt Canada. They played great last week. Let's see what Deontay, I think he had the touchdown taken away, or that should have been a touchdown. Had 8 targets, so 4 for 50. I think he's pretty safe on targets, but he hasn't really been connecting like that. And call me crazy, but I know Flacco can sling it. Flacco can sling it. Now, Amari is a little bit banged up, but it looks like he is gonna play. Doesn't have an injury destination. Okay. I thought he hurt his ribs bad enough, but looks like he's gonna be okay. Man, call me crazy to go with Amari Cooper and Joe Flacco. I I mean, again, Deontay against Arizona is interesting, but Pickett ain't throwing tutties, right? So the upside ain't really there with Deontay. Like, so Give me Amari Cooper. Give me Amari Cooper, Ray. Give me Amari Cooper. Frank said, Kyler. Oh, it is Kyler. Okay. Yeah, if you don't need an extra QB and now at this point, I mean, who's your starting QB, Frank? Seahawks, Falcons, like you said. Yeah, those would be two very, very interesting teams for Kirk to go to. I really like those spots for Kirk. Is that going to happen? Probably not. I mean, I think you want to keep the familiarity of the offense. Especially it's like who else are we going to bring in? Like we're not going to have a good enough pick to go and get one of the top quarterbacks. So do we wind up taking some of these guys at the back end or take one in the second round? I mean, I rather just I mean, yeah, we can do that and still have Kirk. Like maybe we re-sign Kirk and we do draft one of those guys, right? They can sit for a year or two while Kirk is running things and then, can get their chance. I don't know. Ray said, "Thanks, man. Great call last week on Flowers over Ford." Yep, appreciate you, Ray. It's good to know that it worked out. So, I'm not always right. We're not always right, obviously, but for the most part, we try to be, more right than wrong. So, glad that worked out for you. Appreciate you, Ray. Marty said, "What do you think Kirk will be worth next year?" What will he be worth? He used to these guaranteed contracts. I think with the injury, you can probably get him because what was he in the 40s? You can probably get him for like 20 something. Could probably get him for 20 something mil, I think. Like he's gonna have to take the pay cut as well. And if he wants to win, then I think he should Tom Brady it and take less money. Maybe do an extra commercial or two to make up for it or something like that. I mean, I'm sure there's some marketing things he can get into to kind of make up for that money. But at this point in his career, he's made a shit ton of money. His agent is awesome. He's one of like the most highest paid quarterbacks like ever in the NFL. The way that he's like structured his contracts and gotten paid, just on the low, it's been very good for him. So for sure, I think that probably in the 20 something range if I had to guess. CJ Stroud, starting QB, putting the smack down. Okay. I feel it, Frank. I feel it. It's hard to not play him. Hard to not play him at this point. Hard to not play him. Currently, what, QB 6? I mean, 19 tutties, 5 intos. So we've got how many games left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left. And I mean, he's been throwing a ton of tutties. So he throws 10 to 12 more tutties. He's in that 30-ish range, 30 touchdowns-ish, you know, with maybe 7, 8 intos. That's a pretty damn good first season. He's got 3 rushing touchdowns as well. He doesn't really rush like that, but shit, 3 rushing touchdowns. You think A-Rod is bumping up his value as far as like Dynasty? Yeah, for sure. I mean, not really for this season because I don't know if we can really count on him for, the fantasy playoffs. But I think for next year, for sure. I mean, beginning of the season, I think, in the early off season, nobody's going to care much. And then as, of course, we get towards the season, I mean, people are going to start, contract wise. You think Aaron bumping up his value? I mean, bumping up Kirk's value? Not necessarily. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I think that, like I said, Kirk's a family dude. He wants to stay in Minnesota. So if he is how I think he is and how he kind of shows himself, I think he'll wind up just taking less money, taking a friendly contract, and we still got to pay JJ too, right? So I mean, I don't think he's greedy enough to kind of get in the way of that. Obviously, we're going to take JJ over that because we want the long term, but I think he takes a friendly enough deal. At least I would hope. Package is set up good with coaching. Yeah, I mean, listen, our defense has been fucking a lot better than I thought we were gonna be, a lot better than what we have been, you know? Fucked up last week and wind up losing at the end, but it is what it is. Yeah, bumping up Kirk's value, I feel you. I mean, uh, not necessarily. Keep the QBs, they got coach up Dobbs in the off season. I mean, we got Dobbs too. I mean, do we keep Dobbs, like, roll with Kirk and then have him sit under, have Dobbs sit under Kirk? Like, I mean, that's a possibility too, but, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made, so very interesting to see what happens, man. Houston D is garbage, CJ be throwing. Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I mean, he's got 42, 39, 37, 36. I mean, 47, 44 earlier in the season. So, yeah, he's been throwing a lot. I mean, over 300 yards the last 1, 2, 3, 4 games. So, I hope we don't lose Flores either. We shouldn't. I mean, the defense has improved a ton. So, I actually really like Flores. So, I do hope he stays. I hope, they don't wind up getting rid of him. So, I feel you, Birdman. Wait till next season on him. Dobbs might not even start after. I know they've been saying that too, but are they saying that to light a fire under him a little bit, or they actually feel like Mullins is gonna be better? I mean, we see what Dobbs can do at least, like, with his legs, right? The way that he can extend plays. Now, obviously, last game was shit, but there's a lot of tip passes. I mean, not it wasn't all his fault, so we'll see. We'll see. And it could just be smoke to get the other team thinking, make them prepare for both guys. I mean, who knows? I would think they still go with Dobbs though. I know, I know, I know. What they gonna do? We said the same shit about Trey Lance and his contract. Look how that turned out. Nah, obviously that was different, but um, I don't know. They're rolling with Mullins, they're rolling with Dobbs. I mean, I know Mullins has had some, like, decent games. I mean, he could sling it a little bit. So is that gonna work out better because he's more like a Kirkish Cousins? We can do more of that same kinda offense. Like, obviously, Dobbs is new and he kinda had to learn everything, so I'm sure the playbook is somewhat still a little bit limited with Dobbs. Maybe Mullins gives us that chance to open up the playbook. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. What do you think, Marty? Do you think that could be, a kind of reason for Mullins? He knows the offense, he knows the playbook, like he's more Kirk Cousins ish. That will help him. So yeah, they wouldn't have even got Dobbs if Mullins wasn't hurt. Oh no, for 100%, 100%. I don't think they would have either. But then you're right. Dobbs did tear it up, and we were kind of like, oh shit, wait a second here. We might have something. But yeah, I mean, even if Dobbs does start, I think it could be one of those very short leash situations. And a lot of people just fell in love with Dobbs just because of the fantasy performances in general and the points that he's putting up. So that was bothering me. Had to fix that. Uh, but yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Marty. That's what I'm kind of thinking also, just kind of thinking about it, now where, Mullins sling it a little bit. Sling it a little bit. Let's see. Last year he played basically like 11 of 13, like half of a game, I guess, 116 yards against Chicago. Trying to go back and see, here we go, 2020. Yeah, I mean, the guy can sling it a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Cryptics, what is good? The guy that I played had DK 38. Ah, that hurts. NDAC 33 points this week. It happens. I mean, in the one league that I have DK, the other guy had CD, so that didn't mean much. I've got CD in a bunch of leagues though, so that helped me a lot. And then I went against Gino in one league, a two quarterback league, and yeah, that shit hurts. That shit hurts for sure. Mullins is like if Kevin O'Connell was a little bit better. No scramble, but decent deep ball. Yeah. Man. What other see what other news came out. Rogers really trying to come back early, this guy. But I mean, Cheetah covering the guy's pay, the photographer that wound up getting fired or whatever. I thought that was a really nice and cool thing of him to do for sure. Because that's that sucks for that kid. Can't believe Flacco's really starting this week. This is crazy. He's gonna sling it too. I think everybody was a little bit low on Dak. I mean, if you look at his last two healthy seasons, like he was really good, but all of a sudden, like he started throwing some intos last year, and everybody started this whole into thing. But if you look at his last two healthy seasons, where he was QB8 and QB2 in those seasons, over basically what 4,400 yards in one, 4,900 yards in another. 30 touchdowns, well, 33 total in one, 38 total touchdowns in that other season. So, I mean, when he's healthy, he's produced the last few years. He's been hurt, obviously, and then last year I think he was just trying to do too much. I think still threw 23 touchdowns, which wasn't great, but wasn't a great year. Hmm. Only 12 games, but looks a lot better this year. Dobbs just doesn't fit the offense. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Where do you think Ertz signs? That is a good question. Let's take a look at some of these teams. Where could Ertz possibly go? Miami? How about I was gonna say maybe the Ravens, but I think they likely. Steelers, no. Browns, no. Bengals, no. Jags, no. Colts, no. Texans, nope. Titans ain't happening. Chiefs ain't happening. Broncos ish. Chargers. I mean, he is a little older, so he probably wants to go to a more winning team. Trying to see if there's a good real fit anywhere. I mean, I don't see like a great Seattle. I mean, they kind of like font. There's no reason for them to kind of spend up. There's not a ton of places out there that he'd actually be like is the perfect spot. I don't know. Let me know. Maybe I'm just missing a good team that he can actually, do good on. Or does he just sign as like the secondary guy on a good team? Like does he go to Dallas and just kind of play a little like behind Ferguson? Does he go to Detroit and just play behind Laporta? Just be a vet to the young guy, like I think Miami and Baltimore, I guess, would be interesting, but Super Bowl champ Flacco, I heard he had a 52 pass day and only ended up with 4 points. Yeah, Flacco, listen, Flacco for his career has been very, very like hit or miss, but I mean, he's at a point in his career now where he just doesn't give a fuck and he's slinging it. Kind of like Jameis. Like he's a gunslinger and it is what it is. He at least just gives you a chance. He gives your guys he gives the wide receiver a chance to make a play, and that's at least that's what you want. Think he'll take a big pay cut. He wants to go to a contender. I feel that. I don't know how it works midseason contracts. Yeah, it's very complicated thing. Miami Birdman. Okay, Dallas got to. They do, but Detroit is a great call. Yeah, I mean, a contending team that could use the extra guy. I mean, I'm sure Laporta can use a couple plays off. I mean, and you still got somebody, capable of playing that position and going in there that can still catch the football as well. Put him in 2 tight end sets, whatever. But yeah, I don't see anywhere that he can just kinda go in and be like the dude right there. Mm. Damn. 11 receptions from the leader on Philly. Maybe he goes there, tries to set the record and get a ring as a backup. Maybe. It could be too. I mean, Goddard's a little banged up. I mean, I think he's supposed to be coming back, but that could be. Mm. I could see that. Going back to the town. You called the D. That's a great call. Wait, which D? Oh, Detroit. Bless you. Appreciate you, Birdman. Appreciate you. He may go back to Phil. Yeah, yeah. I think that's a very interesting. It's a very interesting take on it. I think that could be a likelihood because, like I said, there's not a team that just totally makes sense right now. I mean, if the Ravens didn't have likely, like maybe, or maybe he does still go there. I mean, we'll see. Amari Cooper worth stashing. Best wide receiver available, Dotson or Higgins. Yeah, he's for sure worth stashing. I mean, he's not going to be consistent. It's going to be hard because they've went to this very short passing game just because I guess the offense is limited with the quarterback. So they've been very much like short passing and around the line of scrimmage, which doesn't necessarily bode well for Amari Cooper. He's more intermediate, more downfield. So it hasn't been great for Amari Cooper. Uh, but for this particular week, like now coming up, I mean, you got Flacco who kind of slinging it a little bit. Like I'm not crazy opposed to Cooper. I'm not playing Dotson. I mean, that's a waste. Wide receiver 44, but his quarterback it has like the most passing yards in the NFL. Doesn't make sense. I don't we're not playing Dotson. If you missed it earlier, rewind a little bit when you get a chance. We had a whole I had a whole Washington like mental breakdown for a minute. But best wide receiver available, Dotson or Higgins. I mean, Higgins is good, but I mean, even Chase is like meh now. So Hooper is at least the wide receiver one on that squad. They're going to at least try and get him the football. It's going to be hard I think with Higgins. Higgins is interesting. They probably are around the same-ish. I mean, I guess I would trust Amari a little bit more, but it's rough because then when DTR comes back, what happens? That just kind of puts them back in the same boat as before now with the short passing, and it's like Higgins, I mean, do we pray for a bomb? Do we pray he's, like, okay? I mean, I don't know. It's tough. So I like Amari. I'd just stash Amari. I mean, I'm getting this Joe Flacco vibe. We saw what he did last year, right? I mean, can we go let me go to Flacco real quick. We saw what he did, with the Jets last year. Wasn't he was like the leading passer for the first 3 games of the season. Now granted, he threw the ball 59, 44, and 52 times for, 309, 307, and 285, but threw 4 tutties in that one game against Cleveland. Um, I don't know. They've got the Rams. I mean, it's not a great defense. I mean, I'll roll with Amari this week if you have to. I'm okay with it. I'm getting this little gut feeling on Amari. We'll see if it bites me in the ass, but Detroit, yeah, yeah, I feel you. Flacco a vet, he going to Cooper. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's smart. He's not dumb. He knows he's gonna find his best player and he's gonna get him the football. So, like, I'm okay with playing with Amari this week. Yeah, can't start Higgins at all. Can't start him. I mean, so yeah, me too on Cooper. I feel you, Birdman. We'll die on that hill together if it happens. We'll see. We'll see how it works out this week. We'll see. I don't think I actually have that decision to make in one of my dynasties. T. Higgins or Amari Cooper, and I'm dead ass going Amari Cooper. So, but yeah. But what else y'all got before I dip up out of here? We'll get into anything else y'all got. Any questions? Throw them out there, guys. Appreciate everybody out there. Smash that like for me if you haven't yet. If you're new to the show, feel free to hit that subscribe if you're having some fun. But throw any questions in the chat. Let me get to those before I get up out of here. Appreciate everybody. I feel like shit. And we'll be on tomorrow night, 10 Eastern tomorrow night. Hammer will be on with me tomorrow. Tuesday nights, we are on at 10 Eastern as well. We do our Dynasty show on Tuesday night. So uh, we'll get into some specific Dynasty stuff. Not sure what we're going to talk about this week. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll talk about some stashes or something like that. Because typically I put out a big stash video at the end of the season. I don't remember how many guys it was last season. It was probably like 15 to 18 dudes to stash in all different positions. QBs, tight ends. Marty said, "Me and you in the sub league need W bad. I'm on a 2 losers." Yeah, bro. I need a win bad. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, my shit is falling apart. Like, and I'm at the point like I'm done. I'm not spending. I'm not spending anything else. Like, I'm just gonna live with what happens right now. I'm not spending future draft capital. I just refuse to do it. I refuse to do it because I don't think there's like one thing out there that I is going to like catapult me to winning the ship. If I'm gonna win it, then I'm gonna win it. But I'm like, fucked right now, bro. I'm fucking playing Greg Dortch in the flex because of all the shit that's happening to me. I mean, Joshua Palmer, I need him back. I mean, it's just been fucked up. Yeah, I'm one up on you, but I'm still on the verge of not making it if I wind up fudging these last 2, bro. I mean, you're just one behind me. We got 2 other guys that are 6 and 6, and they've all got more points than me, except for one of them. So, it's fuck, man. It's tough. One of them is going against, like, the number 1 seed in the league, so if they can give him an L and oh, shit, I'm playing you. What the fuck? Bro, we both need a win, and we're playing each other, bro. Listen, whatever happens, happens. I'm not, like, that excited. Like, I don't have I mean, you got Pacheco, you got Gibbs, you got speaking of Terry, you got Terry, let's go. That's a plus. But, alright, I'm about to get out of here. Birdman, good night, bro. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, appreciate you. Yeah, bro, it is gonna be a make or break week. Unless some other teams lose, I mean, we'll see what happens. We shall see. Braden, what's up, Braden? Appreciate you chiming in. Trade Mixon, Kyler for Brees. Trade Mixon and Kyler for Brees. I have Stroud. So, I mean, in this case, Kyler obviously is expendable to you, but I mean, Brees hasn't done jack. Like, Brees hasn't done jack. And is that going to get better? We've got Atlanta, Houston, Miami, Washington, Cleveland. Okay. Let's take a look at Mixon. I'm just looking at the rest of the schedule here. Jacksonville, Indy, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, KC. That's kind of meh-ish, but like Indianapolis, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, like I don't see them going up on the Bengals crazy too much where that's like a blowout. Like so I feel like Mixon could still be involved. Good, but against Pittsburgh this last past week, I mean 8 carries, like that ain't gonna fucking cut it. So but Brees, I mean same shit, 7 carries. I mean I think I'm okay with it just 'cause I'm okay with the matchups. I mean, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, meh, but then you got Washington after that. So if you can get past the Miami game, Burrow's hurt, and last week was bad. I'm with you there. I'm with you there 100%. But it ain't like Brees's situation is much better, man. It ain't like that situation is much better. We've got shit for quarterbacks. They can't move the football. I mean, not even enough to give Brees Hall a good amount of carries. I mean, Brees has had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 5 games, the most carries he's gotten was 16. Now, he has been involved in the pass game, so that's the little plus on the Brees side is that he's getting the passing work, as well, and Mixon, like, not as much as that. So I'm okay with it. It's just a matter of who you like better. So I'd be fine with that. Give me Brees. Give me Brees. Crispy in the building. What up, Crispy? Appreciate you, man. Brees get a bunch of screens too. Yeah, yeah, he does. So that's what I'm saying. I think I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I don't love it, but it is what it is. I think Kyler's expendable for you, like I said. So does that guy need Kyler? Like, can you ask for something else on top? Like just a bench piece? I don't know, maybe some backup running back or wide receiver just in case of injuries or something like that. Can you get another tiny piece back? If not, not a big deal. Just smash it and do it. Go get Brees. Go get Brees. Yeah, Frank said, I think Brees gets dumps off. Yeah, that's exactly, exactly. He's getting way more receptions than Joe Mixon, so give me that safety. Give me that safety of Brees. So go get it. He has Justin Fields. Yeah, he's pretty trashy. Can you ask for Justin Fields back? Just give him Kyler. But now I'm fine with it. I mean, Kyler doesn't really matter for you, so whatever. Just go get Brees. Let's get Brees in there, Braden. Yeah, you just hope he continues to get those dump offs that he's been getting, like Frank said. So Yeah, I trade Mixon. I trade Mixon. I mean, Najee hasn't been great this year, but he's looked a lot better the last, 4-ish, I guess, weeks or so. I mean, scored a tutty, had almost 100 yards. Last week had 99, but, he's not involved in the pass game. Obviously, Warren takes that. He's still getting the majority of the snaps compared to Warren, but Warren is that third down guy. He's that 2-minute drill guy. So, I mean, you can count on Najee for like 15-ish carries as long as the game flows in order. So, I mean, against Arizona, I don't think you'll have a problem. New England, Indianapolis, Cincinnati. I mean, these are all games where, I don't see these teams blowing out the Steelers. So, I'd keep Najee if you could. I mean, he's going to be a decent like RB2-ish for you. So, we hope anyway. Yeah, for sure. For sure. He does. He does. He's just not that, that top 8, top 10 RB that, he once was. Like, those times, unfortunately have gone. They've got Jalen Warren now taking the pass catching work, and Najee's just gotta do his thing on the ground and scoring tutties. So, I mean, with a better offense, with their offense moving the ball, maybe he has more opportunities to score touchdowns now. So, I mean, that's a plus as well, because he'll get the goal line work. So, it's a good matchups. I mean, like I said, Arizona, New England. I mean, Indianapolis, okay. Cincinnati, okay. So for sure. Only reason I need a RB is because JT hurt. Yeah, yeah, and you don't have Zach Moss, I'm guessing. So yeah. But what if you just went out and got Zach Moss? Well, you're not really spending much, so it's all right. Well, can you get Zach Moss? Is that even a better option than getting Brees? Like, did Jamar for JT Waddle the day before Burrow injury. So you got JT and Waddle. You traded Jamar before the Burrow injury? Damn. And you got Waddle and JT. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have did that, but it wound up working out in your favor because of what happened with Burrow. So I'm not mad at it. Luckily, it wound up working out in your favor because and then JT gets hurt. So yeah, I guess you could say it's not really even in your favor. Crispy, we're going at it in the multiverse 32. I think I'm playing Crispy this week somewhere. I don't know which league it is. Which league am I playing you in, Crispy? I know I'm playing you in a league. Oh, in the Wafers number 7. Okay. Yeah, that's where you had fucking CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks just fucking go ham on me. And I had DK Metcalf, luckily, so I kind of eliminated what CeeDee did, but Cooks still had a good game. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm glad you didn't play fucking Geno, Crispy. You had Geno on the bench, thank God. Yeah, I need a win in the way for. Oh, we both do. We're both 6-6. We're fighting for it. Not much I could offer a guy with Moss. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, he had Geno on the bench. Crispy played Baker instead of Geno. And to be fair, Baker's going against Carolina. Like, I don't think it's a bad call because Dallas D's been good. Geno's been absolute trash. So it's just one of those things like you can say in hindsight, like, oh, I should have played Geno. But realistically, like there's not much that makes you want to play Geno, especially against a Dallas defense. So I can't really blame him for sitting Geno. But yeah, CD is turning into something crazy. I don't have a QB starting in the 32 this week. Bro, I don't have a QB in the 22, bro. I have no QBs for any week. I'm starting Jacoby Brissett right now. S Super flex. I'm starting Jacoby Brissett. I have no QB at all because Aaron Rodgers is fucking dead, and Deshaun Watson. Taylor Heineke lost a job, so even in the 19, I had no QBs for a couple weeks either because I had Kyler, fucking Anthony Richardson, and Deshaun. Like, both of these, which is crazy. Isaac, what up, Isaac? Appreciate you, bro. All good, my man. All good. I'm just about to get off actually, but I'm hanging out for a few. As long as the chat is active, I'll hang out for a few before I hop off. But yeah, throw any questions you got in the chat, and then of course you already know we're on tomorrow night as well. So 10 Eastern, Hammer will be with me tomorrow, so we'll be answering all and more questions tomorrow. You'll probably still beat me. My team been in free fall there. Yeah, so is mine. I mean, my so is mine. Losing it. I mean, right now you're projected to beat me, so by like a decent margin too. I mean, I got to start Antonio Gibson. I mean, shit. I actually like Gibson this week against Miami. You do Mixon and Murray for Zach Moss? I mean, for your particular situation, yeah. I mean, you have JT, so at least you'll have Moss, and then when JT comes back, you'll have JT, unless they decide to start splitting shit at that point. But I doubt that. It looked like JT started to take over, so I mean, it's tough. It's tough to say, but Michael Moss, man, Michael Moss. Traded Chuba for Taysom. Needed a tight end because Kincaid on bye. Okay, I'm okay with that, Isaac. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yes, championship week is 15. So yeah, you're looking for a guy for the rest of the season. Then yeah, why not take Zach Moss, who gets a shit ton of carries and gets all the work when JT's not there. So yeah, give me Moss. Give me Moss. Give me the guy that's gonna get the shit ton of volume. And what's their? Let me look at their schedule real quick too. What's their schedule looking like for the next few? Tennessee, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Atlanta. So Pittsburgh, Atlanta has been decent, but nothing like like you're scared of. So Tennessee, Cincinnati, yeah, I'm okay with that. Mixon or Javante straight up. If that doesn't go through, Mixon for Javante, you mean? Straight up. Um, Javante. Yeah, I mean he's getting a ton of work too. They've got Houston. Yeah, yeah. I like the matchups. I mean, if it ends week, what'd you say, week 15? I think you said. So yeah, I mean you've got Houston and then you've got the Chargers. These are two really good matchups for Javante. And then you got Detroit in week 15, which is, I mean, meh. But at least the next 2 weeks you've got really good matchups. So I think yeah, I'm okay with any of those guys, really. I'm okay with any, but give me Moss. Like if you have a chance to get Moss, like I take that. I mean, he's been really good so far this season. So what should I do with Cowboys Day D? Looks like the end of a run with the schedule. Yeah, I think we briefly had spoke about that earlier. Like what other options do you have? Just stream it, you know? Just stream it for the next few weeks if you have to. Play the waivers, play the matchups, the weather. I mean, start looking into those things when you're streaming a defense. And kicker, same thing in that matter, right? Check the weather. Are they playing in a dome? Are they not playing in a dome? Stream and drop them. I mean, if you have to, unless you have room on the bench. I mean, right now we're getting into the playoff portion, right? So you don't have to have like a ton of depth on your bench. Obviously, you want enough, but if there's some guys that on the waiver wire, they're kind of the same player, like either this guy or that guy, then yeah, then I'm okay with dropping some guys if you need to. But yeah, I mean, if you're not going to play them, there's no sense of having them on your team. So check out the next few weeks. Check out the teams that are out there on waivers. Check out those schedules for the next few weeks, and then determine which defense you want to go with, or do you want to just change it up every week? Go with the best matchup this week, and then when next weekend comes, or when next week comes, you'll deal with that problem next week. Is it a good matchup, or do I need to change again? So, I mean, defenses and kickers, I think, should just be taken out. I mean, I play in a few leagues now where there's no defense and there's no kicker. It's just straight offensive players. Takes that part out of it. And, it's fun that way too. And you can also say, like, it's not the original way. Like, the original is, having a kicker, having a defense. So now with Javante needs tight end, I have McBride on the bench. Oh, that's good. Can you just do that straight up? I'd do that straight up if I could. You need a tight end. I need a running back. They look soft as fuck. McBride and James Conner for Javante. I mean, Conner's interesting because he's typically is decently good. Kyler is back. Obviously, it wasn't a great game last week, but last 3 weeks really hasn't done jack shit. So he's got Pittsburgh, then he's got a bye, and then he's got San Fran. So yeah, I mean, forget Connor. That's just bad matchups and a bye. I mean, that sucks. How do you have a bye in playoff weeks? I mean, they've got to fix that schedule. He takes McBride for Javante. All right, fine. Take Connor. Take Connor. Why is it a horrendous offer? I mean, the fuck has Javante done? Nothing. He's fucking RB30. You're telling me that an RB3 for and then you're talking about McBride, who's had good games as a damn tight end 13. Getting 9, 7, 9 targets, 14 targets. I mean, the guy's getting almost double-digit targets the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish weeks. And, you're gonna tell me that that's a bad offer? Javante's done nothing. He's just getting some volume right now. Why is it a bad offer? Is it because you just say it's a bad offer because Javante has the name and you just think he's been doing great when he hasn't? Or is it because the schedule, is that why it's a horrendous offer? You giving him up because of the schedule that he has? But when you're just looking at it like points wise, getting Aubrey is him. I got Aubrey in a bunch of redraft leagues. He's fucking killing it. The dude had Eckler, Jacobs, and Kyron. Yeah, so he doesn't even need Javante. Like, bro, you want the tight end or not? You want McBride or not? Just give me for Javante straight up. You know? Oh, I'd rather start Pat Fryermuth. Yeah, Fryermuth had a good game. I probably wouldn't want to give him up either, honestly, if he's got Fryermuth. So tight end position ain't gonna be it. You'd have to give him something that he needs because he doesn't really need the tight end. Caddy, what up, Caddy? What is good? So it's Javante against Houston or Najee against Arizona. Oh my God. Do we have to pick between those 2? Can you start both of those guys? I mean, who's your other running backs? I think that's extremely close. I mean, Javonte hasn't scored a touchdown yet. Obviously, the Houston defense, I mean, it's a great matchup. Is this the game all of a sudden that Javonte starts coming out? Or do I just play Najee, who's had a touchdown, 1, 2, 3, who's had 4 touchdowns in the last 6 games, 5 touchdowns in the last 7 games. Nope, I lied. My bad. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns in the last 6 games. I was right. Yep. I think I'm gonna go Najee against Arizona. I mean, like I said, Houston's a great matchup, but Javonte hasn't been exactly killing it. I mean, less than 4 yards per carry the last 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Like, yeah, he's getting the workload, but he hasn't been really efficient. I mean, he did have 6 targets last game, but I mean, no rushing touchdowns. I mean, well, that's a tough one. What do you guys think, Najee or Javonte this week? Who we rolling with, Najee or Devontae? It's Swift, Mixon, and Najee. Okay, I feel it. I feel it. I think I'd roll with that. Caddy said, "Would you trade for anything or stay tight?" Do I try and trade for anything or stay tight? QB Josh. Oh, my bad. QB Josh, RB, Barkley, Walker, Brees, Rashard, Keenan Cup, Devontae, Sutton, Deontay, Laporta, Ingram. 8-man, 10-2. Bro, you're 10-2. What are you gonna do, Caddy? All right, Barkley, Walker, Brees, Richard. I mean, you're decent everywhere. Like, I guess you can try and do a little like 2 for ones. Like, can you trade Sutton and I mean Walker's hurt, so you can't really even trade him. I mean, so I guess you gotta keep Barkley, Brees, and Richard. Can you trade I mean, Deontay hasn't done jack either. Like I was gonna say trade Sutton and Deontay for a tier up. Or can we do Devontae and Sutton, Devontae and Deontay for, a top 15-ish wide receiver. That's gonna give a little more I mean, you got Devontae anyway. There's not much else to get, right? I mean, JJ Chase, these guys are hurt. You're not getting a CD. You're gonna almost have to stay put unless you want to try and upgrade Cup if you're scared about Cup, because that could hurt. Can you do Cup and Sutton or Cup and Deontay for some kind of wide receiver? That's kind of the only thing I'd probably be looking to do. So let me know, Caddy. Who do you have ranked higher in Dynasty, Fields or Kyler? Kyler for sure. Swift, JT, plug in the flex. Okay. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. I like it, Braden. I like it. Watson or Deontay PPR? Christian Watson? Yeah, I'll probably go Christian Watson here. Had a better last game. I mean, still only had 7 targets. Like, we're not seeing him command like a shit ton of targets, but I mean, 94 yards, had the touchdown, had 2 touchdowns the past 2 games. I mean, Kansas City defense has been good. That's the only like downside of it. But I mean, Watson is one of those electric guys that kind of needs just one touch. And then Deontay, I don't know what's going to happen with Deontay in this offense. Obviously, they didn't look great last game. I mean, obviously they did look great last game, but he had 4 for 50. I know we probably should have had the touchdown as well. So I mean, it's interesting. It's a great matchup. They're going against Arizona. If you're going to go matchup base, it's going to be Deontay Johnson, but it might have to be just Christian Watson with the upside. I mean, how much upside do we have with Deontay Johnson? I don't know. So I'm going to go with Watson, but that's a close one. And no read. That's right. Isaac said no read. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Watson. Give me the upside play. Give me the upside play. Let's go with Watson. So no Reed. That'll leave Dubes and Watson to be getting the majority, and Wicks. They are gonna have to throw. Yeah, I like Watson there. I like Watson. Full team without JT is Stroud, Swift, Najee, CD, Waddle, Kittle, Mixon, Ravens, Aubrey. I like it. I like it. Stroud's been awesome. I mean, CD's been awesome. Waddle's kind of been a little bit disappointing, a little bit up and down. Kittle has his weeks. Swift had some great weeks early on, kind of tailed off a little bit, but yeah, Wicks is banged up too. So yeah, I mean, obviously we'll stay close to the situation, right? Read up on the injury reports and make sure. But even still, like even if those guys were playing, I still think I might go with Christian Watson here. I think I want to see another like good game from Deontay. I mean, he did have 8 targets, so that was good to see, but it just wasn't enough. And he's got some good matchups. Arizona, New England. Tingley, how you feeling about Fields' rest of season? I was high on him coming back from the injury. Then the Vikings game brought me back to reality. I got him and T-Law. Yeah, that's tough. All right, let's see what Fields got. Rest of season, Detroit, Cleveland, Arizona, Atlanta. I mean, fantasy playoffs, you're looking at Cleveland that first week. And then when you're looking at T-Law, who, finally had a goodish game last week, Tutty and an Into. You've got Cincinnati, Cleveland, so he plays Cleveland too, and then Baltimore, Tampa. Shit. I mean, with the way they've been playing, I guess Fields, but Cleveland, Baltimore, those could be low-ish scoring games. Might just make the argument for Fields just on the rushing alone just gives you a decent-ish floor. I mean, Teal has been given a decent little floor as well, so you might just have to play the matchup. Like, obviously, you're playing T-Law this week. Next week, you've got next week maybe you play Fields against Detroit and sit Trevor versus Cleveland. And then week 15, maybe you go T-Law against Baltimore because Fields has got Cleveland. You know what I mean? So week 16, Fields has got Arizona and Lawrence has got Tampa. So, maybe you go Fields there. 8-man league, though. I feel you. All right, Braden. Where you rank Walker when he comes back? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Walker when he comes back. Low end RB1, high end RB2 ish, I guess. Start Ramondre or Tank Dell. Oof, it's hard to not play Tank Dell after what he just did. Um, they have Denver this week, so I mean, he's been getting a ton of targets the last 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks 11, 14, 10, and 8 as far as Tank Dell's targets. And he scored a touchdown in all of these games, including in one of them. So I think we might go Dell. Like Ramondre, I know he's played a lot better. Let me pull up Ramondre real quick. I mean, 21 carries last week, 20 the week before, 88 and 98 yards, had the tutty. Going against the Chargers, which is a great matchup. Whew. and then Denver, who's actually been playing pretty well on defense. Man, it's half PPR. If it's half PPR, maybe we go Dell. I think I'm gonna go Dell. I think we'll go Dell. I mean, if the Patriots are not gonna be that good, and if the Chargers go up in this game, maybe Ramondre does get a ton of shit more pass work, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Dell. I'm gonna go with Dell though. What possible guys off waivers would you start for flex? It's an 8-man. Well, let me know who's available, and then I'll let you know from there kind of who my favorite are. Like I'm not sure exactly who would be available in an 8-man. I don't do any 8-man, so just let me know who's on the waiver wire, and I'll be able to answer that a little bit better. Oh, here you go. Would you start Josh Downs over? Yes, I would start Josh Downs over Mixon. Yes, absolutely, absolutely for sure. See, Deontay only 50% catch rate is terrible. Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely horrible, and his head is kinda out of it too, like, you saw him walking off on that fumble, I mean, so his head's all not in there too. Yeah, they got the rough games ahead. I was looking at waivers for guys with better QB schedules, like, would Minshew be better to roster? I don't know if I'd go down to the Minshew one. I mean, that's just getting way too cute, like, it's just way too hard to know exactly which one to play, and I think that's just getting too cute. I mean, sometimes you have to just look past the matchup because great players are gonna be great players, and they're gonna do great things even against great teams or great defenses or bad matchups. So, at some point, you've gotta just roll with the guys that got you there because once you start trying to get cute and trying to be a genius and it backfires, it just feels like shit. Like you had the guy on your squad the whole time. All you had to do is play him like you have been, you know? B-Rob or Javonte. It's gotta be B-Rob. Come on. Gotta be B-Rob rolling loud. I mean, Javante's what, RB 30 something? And you've got Brian Robinson, who is probably what, RB like 4 or something like that? S Brian Robinson, RB 5? Gotta be Brian Robinson. And, listen, it's not even a great matchup this week against Miami. Like, I don't love Brian Robinson this week. I actually like, Antonio Gibson this week, but I'm gonna go with B-Rob. I mean, he's getting passing work, he's getting the carries. Obviously, Gibby came back, so he didn't have a ton of pass work last game, but yeah, you still gotta go be I mean, Javonte has a great matchup, like, he has a great matchup. Do we just go with Javonte just because of the matchup? I mean, you could make that argument against Houston that he's gonna get 20-ish carries or something like that, and B-Rob maybe not. Maybe I'm changing my mind to Javonte now. I know B-Rob's been awesome, but I recommended to not play B-Rob last week against Dallas if Gibson was gonna play. Now you've got a Miami who's had a pretty good defense, and they, are a team that can score. So is this going to be some kind of shootout? B Rob is not that effective in that case, or does Miami barrel over them? And even still, Brian Robinson is not that much of a factor. So I think Javante is actually a serious. What all B Rob needs is to get down near the goal line, and it's a tutty. So Javante hasn't exactly gave us that at all. And Houston's been scoring, so they could at some point start blowing the doors off of Denver. I'm still gonna go B-Rob, but Javante's interesting. Let me go B-Rob still. Still going B-Rob. Valid. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Tingley. You the man. Someone who needs a win to clinch playoffs, drop Geno for Minshew 30 minutes before the game. Oh my god. Yeah, I played somebody who had Geno on the bench, but to be fair, Geno has been pretty much hot trash all season, so it's understandable if, people wanted to go in a different direction. It is what it is. Who's a sneaky wide receiver sleeper for the playoffs? I don't know. I have to look into that a little bit more. I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, damn, I just exited out of this. Did we talk about some today already? I might have went over some already. No. Trying to see if I could come off of any in the top, but off the top. But let me know, or I'll get to it tomorrow, Isaac. Actually, when Hammer's on, I'm 9-3, not sweating. I have Williams in. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain about it. That's a tough one because of the matchup, but seems like more wide receivers are valuable because PPR points and yards. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Good game from running back is 20. Wide receiver is 30 or 40. I feel that Isaac, due to my league, has Dak and DK. Yeah, that's rough. I went against CD in one league, but I had DK, so it kind of just eliminated itself. And I have CD in a bunch of leagues, so I mean that went crazy for me. So that worked. Caleb, what up, Caleb? Appreciate you, Caleb, my guy. All right, guys. Throw any last questions you got in the chat. I got to get up out of here, but I'll make sure to answer any last questions you guys have. Smash that like for me if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all. And smash that subscribe. As always, if you're new and you like the content, throw me a subscribe in there. And we're live Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturday nights, 10 Eastern. We do a lot of more live content than just kind of video posting. So we like to catch you guys live. But yeah, throw any last questions in the chat before I get up out of here. Appreciate everybody for coming out. Good luck this week in your fantasy matchups if I don't see y'all tomorrow night. But we'll be here tomorrow night. Peace, Marty. Peace. And I'm sorry that I'm about to beat you this week in the subscriber league. So Tua's about to go off. He better. Tingley. Peace, Tingley. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Come through tomorrow night. Come through tomorrow night. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Be out of here. See y'all tomorrow.